We're gonna start this 6-day adventure at Miami Station, so let's head inside. A small waiting room in a small station, and the AC was working very good, I can tell you that. I think that's pretty cool. They have this small baggage belt, and here you have a model train of Amtrak's. I don't know if it's this station. Not that many trains here. So this is the route. 46 stops, 9 states, and DC. They don't have a restaurant in this station, and it's in the middle of a big industrial area, so there's no restaurants nearby, but they have 3 vending machines that are pretty affordable. It's almost time for departure, so let's take a quick look at the restroom before we go to the train. It's pretty spacious, it's clean, and yeah, nothing to complain about. Let's head to the train. And there we go! Start of day 1. Right on time. And I'm gonna do this trip in coach. 2 days in this seat. Yeah, bring it on! A little history about Amtrak's Floridian train. Well, there is no history because this line is pretty new. The premiere was in November 2024, last year. So, yeah, it's pretty new. This seat is really comfortable and there's a lot of space for the legs. And over here you have electricity. But this armrest, I think, is a little bit short. It's too short for me. I would like it all the way to the end of the chair, actually. And a nice footrest. And this fake leather and the chair in total is pretty comfortable. You don't get much to read like on an airplane, but as same as the airplane, you got this safety card in the seat in front of you. If something happens, it's good to know where the closest emergency exit is. And here we have a table. It's a little bit too small, but it's okay, and for now it's pretty steady. And let's see if we have some electricity. And yes, we have, and that's also for now. And now let's take a look at the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi was pretty bad. I didn't have a connection at all. So I used my phone. It was faster and it worked. It's a Swedish SIM card, no problem. I actually start to think that it's my phone that is the problem with the Wi-Fi. I always have trouble to connect to the Wi-Fi on airplanes and trains, but not in hotels. Strange. Okay, here's a special one. Remember this, now we are in Lakeland, Florida. And the time is...
ladies and gentlemen, in about 45 minutes to an hour will be Tampa. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Tampa will be next.
And we will actually be back here in a couple of hours because Tampa is on the other side of the Florida peninsula. And we have to go back to get north. And now we are approaching the Tampa station, and as you can see, we're going backwards. That's because Tampa station is a dead-end station, so we have to back the train into the station. And as you can see through the whole movie, when I'm filming outside the window, the colors get pretty messed up. I think it has something to do with the tinted windows, because I tried to correct it in the editing program as well, but I can't get it to look good. So now we're in Tampa, Florida, and the first stretch your leg stop. We'll be here for like 10-15 minutes. So just go out and enjoy the last bit of heat. So this is the engine, or locomotive if you prefer to call it like that. I don't know what kind of locomotive this is. I think I read the Siemens on it somewhere. But if you know, please leave a comment down below. And when we were leaving Tampa, I decided it was time for some dinner. I had this burger. It was mediocre, I can say that. A Snickers and some Coca-Cola. Remember when I told you to remember Lakeland? Now we're actually back in Lakeland. So this little Tampa trip, it took almost 2 hours, and we're back at the same point. Interesting. Sometimes you just have to hold on to your stuff, or you will lose it. So now when I finish the dinner, let's see if we can make the seat a little bit more comfortable. The backrest goes pretty far back, and the leg rest is pretty damn neat too. This is comfortable, but is this comfortable enough for 2 nights? We'll see. It's getting dark outside pretty quick in Florida. Then there was a short stop at Jacksonville in Florida. When you book and when you check in on Amtrak, there's no seating assigned to you. So when you board the train, you just take a seat that is available. And how do you know that? Well, yeah, they put up these small pieces of paper on every seat and the destination of the passenger. So if there's no passenger there, maybe the passenger is in the cafe car or out stretching their legs, you know there's someone sitting there. And if you as a passenger move your seat, don't forget the paper. So now it's time for a restroom tour. There's 2 in the back of this car, so I started with the big one, probably the handicapped one. It was dirty, and as a guy, it's very hard to stand up peeing, so I recommend to sit down, because the train is rocking a lot from side to side, front to back. So yeah, please sit down. I think that's the reason why it was so dirty. And someone had stole the soap, so I couldn't wash my hands in this one. Let's head back to the seat and prepare for the night. The pillow is inflated, and let's see how we have progressed so far today. There's still a lot to go. Well, the blindfold, the earplugs are ready. Let's try to get some sleep. Good morning, day 2. And we are in Cary, North Carolina, in the middle of North Carolina. So Georgia, South Carolina and North Carolina during the night. That's not bad. Quick stop in Raleigh. Did I pronounce that right? Raleigh? Yeah, I think so. Quick stop, smoking break, 10 minutes. All aboard! Here's the menu from the cafe car. Time for some breakfast. A hot sandwich with ham and cheese and some hot chocolate. The weather is really not funny anymore. Do you know why American trains use their horns so much and so loud? Well, I do, and I'm gonna explain that to you now. It's actually by law that every time you approach a crossing, it doesn't matter if it's a road, pedestrian, bicycle, some kind of crossing, you have to use your horn at the sound of the Q in the Morse alphabet. And the letter Q is 2 long, 1 short and 1 long. And if the train is doing high speed, I don't remember the speed, but I think it was over 25 miles per hour, the last long sound has to be at least in 15 seconds. And now we're getting closer to Washington DC. This is a stop that's actually the longest stop. If the train is on time, the stop is 1 hour and 10 minutes. So you actually have time to get off the train and go eat something real, like a nice burger or something nearby. But I didn't have time for that. I needed to charge my phone because during the night, the left side of the train, all the outlets broke. After Washington DC, the landscape starts to change pretty drastically. Unfortunately, there's soon gonna be dark, so I have to enjoy while I can. And now we're entering Harper's Ferry. I really want to see this place in the summertime. And now we're slowly getting closer to the coolest part of this trip, but unfortunately this section of the trip is actually during the night, so you can't see that much, especially not film that much. But anyhow, let's start climbing the Appalachian Mountains. Let's check out the other restroom, the small and clean one. And they also had soap in this one, so this was pretty neat. And to dinner I had some macaroni and cheese, a Sprite, and as a dessert a blueberry muffin. And then it was time to sleep again, and we don't have much left. Tomorrow morning we will be in Chicago. I had some pretty good night's sleep, and when I woke up there was only 1.5 hours left to Chicago and only one stop. So let's pack everything up and be prepared to get off this train. And if you are on the right side of the train, you have a pretty nice view of the Chicago skyline. I wasn't, so I had to watch other stuff approaching Chicago. This station is underground, or not the station, the tracks and the platforms are underground. The station is really nice. You're gonna see that pretty soon, and I really need a shower, so let's go take a shower at the station. So, we're almost there. I think we're 35 minutes after scheduled arrival, but it took in total, let's check. So this lovely seat has been mine for 46 hours and 16 minutes. Yeah, that's a long time in a coach on a train. Let's go get the bag. Well, it's heck of a lot colder here, I can tell you that. This station was undergoing a lot of renovations, so it was like a construction site. But I finally found the baggage claim. So let's see if we have a bag here. I'm supposed to have a bag here. There it is. Got it. So here's the Chicago Union Station from the outside. We have a couple of hours to kill, so let's head inside and take a look at it and then check out the Amtrak lounge. And here on the sides we have some cool pictures of the biggest lines Amtraks have. I want to do them all one day. City of New Orleans, Capital Limited, yeah, would be awesome. But let's head inside. Oh wow, this is huge and amazing. Wow, look at it. Oh my god. So here it is, the next train, California Zephyr. Never seen one of these before. It's pretty neat. This building. But let's take a look at the restroom. It's tucked away in the corner, so it's actually no people here at all. So here's the Amtrak lounge. Let's get inside. And in here you have all kinds of snacks, of course. Cookies and buns and fruits and stuff. And drinks, of course. Hot drinks, cold drinks, sodas, water. I don't know what that is, but yeah, anyhow. They also have a bar for alcoholic beverages to purchase. And here we have the restroom. It's a nice big restroom. Nothing to complain about. It's clean. But I'm actually here for the shower. You can get the key from the reception. I mean, I've been on the Floridian for 46 hours now. In coach. So, you know what I mean. But I really need a shower right now, so let's get on with it. In here you have shampoo, body wash and stuff like that. It's pretty nice. It was clean as well. And now to the showering part. Unfortunately, I can't show you that on YouTube. So, quick. Now I'm done. Fresh. Smells good. Let's go and see the upstairs. Up here you also have a toilet. It's pretty close to the elevator. And this was a handicap toilet, so it was a lot of space. Up here in general it was a lot less people. Downstairs it was pretty crowded. And you also have the drinks up here, so you don't need to run down to get your cold drinks or hot drinks. Hydration station they call it. This is my first station review, so I have nothing to compare with. I only have airport reviews, but I like this station. It was calm, nice, could get a little bit of sleep. But now let's sit down and wait for the train. And just like that, right on time, the next train was ready to leave. So let's get down there to the tracks. Now the California Zephyr is here. Let's head towards Emeryville in the Bay Area outside San Francisco. I'm really looking forward to this one. I mean, I'll have a little bit of an upgrade. I probably need it after 2.5 days in coach. This Amtrak train is called the California Zephyr, and it's one of the most scenic train routes in the United States, so this is going to be a real nice experience. And on this trip I have a roomette for myself and no one else, and it's on the upper floor. That's nice. Well, it's time to leave, so I do a review on the Romette later. Let's have a beer in the observation car. The California Zephyr has 34 stops. It goes through 7 states and over 2 mountain chains. And it's about a 52-hour train ride. Just above 52 hours. So let's take a quick look at the clock, and yes, we left right at time. And they actually have a bar up here, so here's the menu in the bar in the observation car. But let's head back to the room and check that out before dinner, I think. The seats are very comfortable, and here you have the menu for the upcoming 3 days. It's the same menu for the whole trip, so I'm gonna try as much as I can on this menu. And you also get 1 alcoholic beverage for the food, and the rest you can buy as many as you want. So let's take a look. Here we have a table. It's not that steady, but it's working. It's a little bit low at the end. It's almost touching my legs. Well, what the... It's an old train. Come on, get in there. And here we have some emergency information. Here you can charge your stuff. And a reading lamp. Nice. And climate control. It's very flat and cold in the beginning of this ride. But let's go take a look at the restroom while it's still clean. And we can maybe compare it in 3 days and see if it's better or worse. But it's pretty close. And here you also have a shower. That's really nice. And here in the beginning of this journey, it was a really rock and roll ride. The train was rocking from side to side a lot. It was sometimes pretty hard to walk. And I think it's even worse when you are on the upper level, of course, because it's higher up. And here in Galesburg, I caught this awesome steam engine on tape, but it was barely. And here you have a first stop that you can get off and take a look at the steam engine if you're quick. But it was a little bit too cold for me, so I skipped that. Maybe next time. And here we're crossing the mighty of the mightiest rivers, the Mississippi River. This is huge. And we're also leaving the first state of Illinois and entering. Welcome to Iowa. And then it was time for dinner, and I'm gonna try to explain the dinner routines. There are 2 seatings, and they also always fill the tables. So if you're traveling alone, you're gonna get seated by some strangers, and I really like that, because when you're traveling alone, you're gonna meet a lot of new people. And there's of course a lot to talk about. But if you don't like that, you can always get your food delivered to the Romette, or if you have even a bigger room, of course. And for appetizer, I got the shrimp. It was okay. The steak was really good, and the chocolate cake as a dessert. And when I made it back, Ariel has made my bed. I think her name was Ariel. I apologize if it was not. The onboard service crew girl. They always help you with the bed, fold it and unfold it in the morning if you want to. So let's take a look at today's progress. We made it quite a lot. We're almost in the 3rd state of Nebraska. That's nice. It's dark outside, it's time to get some sleep. And up here we can change to night mode, and it gets really dark and cozy. So, the 3rd day is over. See you in the morning. Good night. Good morning! Day 4. Still very flat and very cold. Let's take a look where we are. We are in Colorado. Good progress during the night. Almost in Denver. Time for breakfast. And in Denver we actually have a couple of hours to spend. So let's explore Denver after the breakfast. And for breakfast I had this great French toast.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is James from the dining car. Apologize for a late opening announcement, but we were very, very busy this morning. We filled up to capacity and had people waiting. We couldn't get any more people in the dining car.
And as you hear, the dining car was pretty much full, and that's not for the Romette and room travelers, it's for the coach travelers, because if you're traveling in coach you can actually buy access to the dining car if there's seats available. And here we have the course field, the home stadium of Colorado Rockies baseball team. But anyhow, now we are in Denver. Let's get out. By the way, they have coffee almost every time in every car in the Romette cars classes. Let's get out. Well, it's a very nice day, but it's extremely cold, so let's go see Denver a little quick. This is the Union Station. Outside the Union Station. It's too windy and too cold. I can't do this. Let's head back to the train. And I'm from Sweden. That's a little bit embarrassing. But here at the end of the train you can see how much ice and snow it is. And up there, that's my window. Pretty big one. And here you actually have a luggage car. If you have a lot of luggage, or if you're traveling in coach, you maybe don't want to bring all your luggage with you all the time. So you have a luggage car if you want. And now after Denver, the fun and scenic route begins.
You will see the city of Denver to your left, and climbing up very quickly. Head through the tunnel district here in about 12 minutes.
By the way, these cars filled with gravel are here for wind protection only, nothing else. To protect the train from the high speed winds that can be up here. But anyhow, if you're only here for the scenic route, you don't have to go between Chicago and Denver. That's completely unnecessary because that's just flat, it's nothing to see at all. But today's first mission is to climb the Rocky Mountains. You can actually see the Denver skyline down there. And because this is the most popular part of the journey and this first scenic one and the first climb, I decided not to go to observation car because I thought to myself that it's gonna be full. I'm probably not gonna get a seat anyway, so I stayed in my room and watched out my own window. There are almost 2 days left, so I think I have plenty of time to see the observation car as well. And as you probably have seen, I put a time lapse up in the corner from the whole thing. Actually, I haven't mentioned how much I paid for this journey. I paid $850. I don't know if that's much or not, but I think it's well worth it. I was alone in the Romette. Maybe it's a little bit less if you're 2 people sharing it. And now we're getting closer to our first stop in the Rocky Mountains, and after that we're gonna take a look at the train, the coach class, the dining car, and so on. So let's get out and get some air. That cool guy in the Colorado Avalanche shirt and the Santa hat is actually the engineer, or the locomotive driver, or what you want to call it. So this is a quick stop at Fraser Winter Park, Colorado. Then it was time to leave this winter wonderland and head further up into the mountains. And down here you have some more showers. I think that's only showers. And I think this is the cabin personnel space. And well, let's go and take a look at the end of the train maybe. And here's a little bit of the dining car. And here we have the observation deck, and down below it's the cafe car. And up here they have a small bar, but it was closed right now. And at this part of the trip it's the biggest chance for you to see wildlife. I actually saw a couple of mooses and deers and stuff. Some cool birds also. So let's head down to the observation deck and hang out there until lunch. Now we're going through the coach classes. I think the 3 last cars were coaches. And as you can see, traveling in coach ain't that bad. There's a lot of space in these seats and they are very comfortable. The observation car has these really cool panoramic windows, and actually here I saw my first moose. It was about 5 minutes after Fraser, and it was really hard to see and I barely got it on camera. So I'm not even gonna bother to point it out, but if you really want to see it and try to find it, it's on the right hand side of the picture right now. But now I'm gonna find some bad but YouTube friendly music and do a montage. If you don't like it, just skip a couple of minutes. It's gonna be bad music and nice landscape footage. Let's go.
Cave down there.
And then there was almost time for some lunch. So here you can see a little bit more from the dining car. I'm just gonna go and change my outfit to a nice shirt or something. I really like these doors. You can open them with your foot if you want to, or your hand. It's pretty good if you had your hands full. This hamburger is the only footage I have from the lunch, because I mean, look at this amazing view. And I really had a good time with my new friends at the table, so I basically forgot to film anything. But anyhow, let's keep going with the montage. Now we're going down towards Grand Junction. This was a pretty amazing part of the trip. I mean, you have the Colorado River, the Interstate 70 and the Amtrak train. Crisscross of roads. All in the same space through this narrow canyon. Pretty amazing. I remember I drove here like 15 years ago, and it's pretty cool in a car too.
If you're going with us beyond Grand Junction, seating you'd like, I do not take your order. You'll spend plenty of time to work.
I was pretty lucky that my Romette has the window to the right side, but if it's not, you can always go to the observation car and hope that you have a seat left. Or like my neighbors did, they had one Romette on each side of the train.
Okay, all right.
Then it was time for a quick stop at the Glenwood Springs, a really quick one. And then the views got pretty boring from my room. No, not boring, less interesting. So I moved to the observation car and had a couple of beers and talked to complete strangers and socialized a little bit. It was a really nice way down to Grand Junction.
I know.
And all of a sudden we were entering Grand Junction. The station building is not that much to hang in the Christmas tree, but they had a mini mart here. So if you're in coach, for example, and are tired of the cafe car, you can always run into this mini mart and buy some stuff. We were here like 15-20 minutes, so we have a plenty of time to do that. And after Grand Junction, somewhere in the high desert, I don't know exactly where, but there we entered the state of Utah. And Utah is a state I really want to explore more in the future. And I choose to have the last seating for the day, for the dinner. And I had some salad and a really good salmon and a cake as dessert. And then it was dark and time to go to bed. Pretty slow progress today, but hey, we've been climbing a lot of mountains. Well, probably the last day. Gray weather. Let's make something out of this day. Let's go have some breakfast. And for breakfast I tried an omelette with potatoes, croissant and bacon. And it was pretty good, actually. Yeah. And today we're gonna climb the Sierra Nevada mountain chain. That's gonna be really cool. But first, a quick stop in the biggest little city in the world, Reno. So as you probably already figured out, we entered Nevada during the night and we're almost leaving Nevada now early this morning and heading to California. And they announced that there was a huge snowstorm up in the mountains. So let's see how much of a delay we're gonna get. And now we're entering the first California town of Truckee, Western gold digging mountain town. I really love this Romette. It's a little bit tiny maybe if you're two people, but only one, well, it's enough of space for me. And shout out to the conductor, I think it was the conductor, who was telling stories and trivia about the route over the Sierra Mountains. It was very interesting to listen to that and soak in the atmosphere. And this time I got my lunch into the Romette, and this time it was some grilled cheese sandwich with some chips, really good, and then cake as a dessert. Nice. Well, can't complain about the view. And the snow removing crew was working really hard to keep the tracks open, and it actually was. We didn't get any delay at all up here. Look at all that snow! And I'm from Sweden. Vanilla butter cake. And now it was a really smooth ride down the mountain. The engine wasn't working at all. So it was very calm, almost no noise, and just floating down the mountain. Then I noticed that my Romette on the other side of the hall was empty, so I could walk over there and film out the other way as well. So I have the views on both sides now. Then the weather changed really quick. I think it was like 10-15 minutes and the snow was gone. And all the way down it was getting warmer and warmer and more sun as we're heading towards the coast of Southern California. And you have probably already noticed the time lapse up in the corner. Also you can see this for yourself. From a lot of snow to no snow at all in no time. Then it was time for the last stop before the Bay Area in California, and that was Colfax. Sacramento. And of course I didn't show you when I showered yesterday, but it was down here in this shower because I found it was a little bit bigger than the one upstairs. So used the one down here, and it was not that rocky down here as well. And when there was only a couple of hours left of this journey, I found this safety cards instructions and a very useful map over the train. I wish I found this a little bit earlier though. And then I think there was a little bit of a flooding in the Bay Area. I don't think there's supposed to be this much water around here. So, some final words about this trip. Well, I could probably get the plane for half the price and a tenth of the time. But this is a journey, this is an adventure. You meet a lot of new people, and I will probably do it again. Maybe not in coach, but in a Romette with a friend and some beer. This is fun. And some of the views you see on the way, it's not possible at all to see it another way, because there's only a railroad around there. No roads, nothing. It's mountains and forest and a railroad. And as the sun set, this 106-hour journey was almost over. You can actually see the skyline of San Francisco on the other side of the bay. And here we are, Emeryville, only 24 minutes late. That's not bad at all. Emeryville, end of the line. If you like what I do, or like my movies, feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment maybe. But until next time, see ya!